What's going on, guys? Breaking news for those of you who haven't heard. The Poops, a.k.a. the Browns, have just traded Trent Richardson to the Indianapolis Colts for a 2014 first-round pick. Again, just had to get that out there for any of you who live under a rock or haven't watched ESPN or don't have a Twitter or don't go on Facebook or don't use a computer or, whatever. Anyways, Victorious here, a.k.a. Bob Kraft's nephew. Just, here to bring you guys, obviously, the Week 3 TGFF commish video, sponsored by Sam Adams. Drinking one right now, of course. Fuck it, why not, for the love of beer, obviously, Sam Adams for the love of beer. So anyways, before I divulge into the recent Patriots and TGFF related material, just wanted to tell you guys, I was actually recently at a commissioner's function over at Gillette Stadium. It was hosted by, of course, my Uncle Bob, Bob Kraft. It was great. He put on a real nice event, real, obviously, as Bob Kraft would, real top-of-the-line stuff, great food, everything like that. It was awesome. Open bar. That was sweet, too. So anyways, again, he put on that commissioner's event just to make sure that, obviously invited all the top commissioners from all the top leagues everywhere. Schefter was there. I started hitting him up, chatting him up a little bit. A lot of big names were at that event just to make sure, again, all the top leagues were running nice and smoothly, gave out some advice, things like that. He also, at the end, did a little surprise award ceremony, which I was kind of intrigued about, and I actually wanted to relay the message to you guys that TGFF actually won the top award, the most intense fantasy football league in the continental U.S. and Canada. It was given to us by the FFC AAC. Those of you who don't know, that's the Fantasy Football Commissioners Association of America and Canada. I have the award right here, as you can see, Award of Excellence. Again, like I said, to the most intense fantasy football league in the continental U.S. and Canada. Thank God for football. Congrats to Victor Sittler on having such a great league. Signed, what does it say there? Signed your friend and relative, Robert Bob K. Kraft. So again, Bob Kraft and the FFCAAC were kind enough to present that award to us. So again, I have multiple awards if you guys are interested to have those. Again, if you want to hang it up in your study, in your office, frame it, of course. I haven't yet framed mine, but that's something you guys are obviously going to want to look into. So congrats on that. All right, obviously now into some Patriots material. Obviously, I'm sure just like you guys are, I'm sick and tired of all this shit about how bad the Patriots are. We're the worst team ever. We haven't won a game yet, or the worst 2-0 team, whatever you want to call it. The rookies are, they're playing like rookies. Fucking ridiculous. Blah blah blah. It's just absurd. It's driving me nuts. And one thing I really have realized in fantasy football and the NFL, all you got to do is make the playoffs. And if you're winning games, you're going to make the playoffs. As long as you're healthy, once your playoff run comes, you're going to do fine. And that's really, that's really what we're looking for. Obviously, KT and Dobson had a few drops there. Ran the wrong route, just miscommunication with Tom Brady. But that's going to happen when you play 2 games in 5 days because you don't have time to practice. You don't have time to go over all that shit from the first game. Not to mention, the weather sucked. That wasn't a good thing. That was obviously tough. It's real hard to play in that sort of weather, I assume. Again, 2 games in 5 days. They did get open. There were a lot of times where they were open. Again, it was drops, so it wasn't a bad throw, anything like that. It was a drop. Hopefully you can eliminate those in the future. Dobson, I don't think ever dropped the ball when he was at Marshall. He's a beast, so we're hoping he can continue that Week 3 against the Bucs here. Not to mention, Gronk coming back at least in Week 4 against Atlanta. That's going to be huge. Steven Jackson might not play for Atlanta, and I'm pretty sure Gronk is going to. Amendola elected not to have surgery. Instead of him being out a month, he's only out a couple of weeks too. So again, you struggle through these weeks. Luckily, we're playing some shitbag teams. The Jets, the Bills, the Bucs. Should be a pushover. And again, once we get Gronk and Amendola back, we should be crushing it. And again, the defense looks sharp. And the key takeaways in the fourth quarter is what really helped us out, as it always does. And that's going to transition us perfectly into this week's Roach Fact, brought to you by our own Kev Roach. He sent me this one the other day, and of course I loved it, as always. The Patriots are a plus 137 in turnover margin since the moment Tom Brady, the Golden Boy, became quarterback in the fourth quarter of Week 2 versus the Jets. Again, plus 137 turnover margin, fucking ridiculous. That's why the Patriots are lucky enough to win a lot of those games. So thanks, Kev, as always. Next week, of course, we look forward to yet another killer Roach fact. So again, I appreciate that. Now, of course, on to week 2. The week 2 recap of the TGFF was probably the most intense matchups I've seen in all of my years as a fantasy football player and commissioner. It was absolutely absurd. Pat Martin had Aaron Rodgers. He was texting me. Unfortunately, I was at work, but I listened to it on the radio. Aaron Rodgers just throwing fucking touchdowns to everyone. Oh, you want a touchdown? Yeah, sure, Jordy Nelson, I'll fucking give you one. Oh, James Starks, yeah, I'll let you fucking run it up there because Eddie Lacy's concussed. Yeah, I'll throw it to fucking Jermichael Finley. I'll throw it to fucking this guy, that guy. Oh, you're not even on the team? Good, suit up. I'll fucking throw you a touchdown too. 35 points. It was absolutely absurd. Luckily for me, who was playing Pat, he had a couple wide receivers that shit the bed there. I think it was Mike Williams at Tampa Bay and Denarius Moore combined for a whopping 0.9 points. And luckily, I was able to squeak out a victory. Thank God. I fucking needed to win. My team's been struggling pretty hard there. But again, it's got to be the smallest margin of victory I've ever seen. 0.44. Again, that's like a little bit over 4 rushing yards. I had Russell Wilson and the San Francisco defense going there on Sunday night, and Pat had Vernon Davis. I was getting really nervous. Then Russell Wilson had to take a knee. That's negative points for me too. I just barely squeaked out a victory, and it was, again, probably the closest margin of victory you'll ever see. Let me just look at the... Oh, shit! Never mind, I completely forgot. Not really. Rob somehow beat out K-Roach by 0.08 points. We're talking about less than 1 rushing yard. That's fucking absurd. I know Kevin was just sitting by his computer waiting to see a stat correction, and luckily for Rob, he did not see one. Rob edged out the victory, a 133.2 to 133.12. Sorry, K-Roach. I know the fantasy gods gave you a little gift earlier today, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So, I guess that's the way she goes right there. So you want to talk about intense? That was fucking intense. I know they were both sitting by the computer. I was trying to go to bed Sunday night. I had Rob fucking blowing me up, being like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Did you see my matchup? Yes, Rob, I did see your matchup, and bravo. Nice job, bud. Again, I want to send out props to Richie. 2 years in a row now, Richie is the last undefeated team in the TGFF last year. I think he made it to about 10 or 11-0 this year. Right now, he stands as the only 2-0 record right now, and thank God for football. And you know what that says to all of the other teams that are 1-1? We got a pretty damn good league going on here. A lot of the teams are pretty even. The matchups have been tight. We had 3 matchups that were separated by, I think, less than 2 points this week, which also leads me into Monday night. That Cincy-Pittsburgh game, another kind of crappy game, but it had a lot of big fantasy implications. Monday night was a nail-biter between Mike and Sticky's team. Obviously, you had Sticky, or Andy Dalton, the Electric Dream Machine, that barely took down A.J. Green, Antonio Brown, and Mike's bunch of black guys, which, he's got a bunch of black guys, except for Philip Rivers. He's trying to trade him, though, I think, to get a black guy. That way his team can really be a bunch of black guys. But anyways, they edged out that victory. I think it was like a 2-point game or something like that at the end. Again, another nail-biter. A.J. Green only put up about 4 points. Antonio Brown kind of struggling there. That's not going to happen every week, Mike. Keep your head up, bud. But again, the way she goes, And now on to this week's featured matchup. Because of this Trent Richardson trade, I got to give the featured matchup to Nib High Football versus Belichick yourself. Again, T-Rich is now on a team that's actually going to win a game. The Browns, the Poops, have absolutely no chance to ever win a football game. Now, Trent Richardson is going to be a beast. I think I was talking to Kev Roach on the phone. He said that Trent Richardson's projected points went up about 5 points this week. And yes, they are playing the San Francisco 49ers, who have one of the top defenses in the league. But still, his numbers jumped to about 14 projected points. God knows if he's actually going to hit that. I'm hoping he's not. But again, it's going to be quite the year for Trent Richardson and Nib High Football. And so now, again, Trent Richardson and Nib High Football, Kevin Roach is looking to be a contender for the Tom Brady Award of Excellence this year. I mean, with a team like that stacked, if his quarterbacks can continue to perform week after week, he's going to have one of the top teams in the league. So, Richie, I know you're 2-0, but watch out. You got some competition. I'm also hoping that because Trent Richardson got traded midweek, I'm hoping that he doesn't play on Sunday. Give the man a break. Let him relax, get used to Indianapolis. Give him some time off. Don't rush him onto the field, because if you can bench him, then that means K. Roach has to bench him, or maybe start him and put a goose egg up. But anyways, that would help me out severely for this week, and you guys all know I need that help. So again, that's it for this commission video. I know this was kind of long, running on close to 11 minutes now. Again, this Week 3 Commissioners video is sponsored by Sam Adams for the love of beer. Go buy some Sam Adams. Oktoberfest for the love of beer. Sam Adams, sponsored. Thank you. Peace.